don't think there's a credible case for Kobe being a better NBA player than LeBron James.
Okay, it's that time of year again, guys. The old Kobe Bryant debate, the Kobe versus LeBron. Where was Kobe? Rank Kobe, blah, 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 blah. Man, I appreciate you guys watching these videos, man. I guess we got to get into this one. Look, this debate has been had year after year after year. And I will admit, just as well as most people do, Kobe Bryant is not the greatest basketball player of all time. I am on record, though. I'm a Laker fan. I watched the Lakers my entire life. Kobe Bryant, my favorite basketball player. You feel me? I watched him since I was like 6 years old. I watched him and Shaq three-peat. You know what I'm saying? When I really got to understanding basketball, this was around the 2010s. The greatest, to me, final series I've ever seen was the 2010 finals. Celtics versus Lakers, you know what I'm saying? And Kobe was not a perfect basketball player. And for years, this LeBron Kobe debate has been going on. But I'm gonna let him talk about it a little bit, and then I'm gonna let him chime in.
I don't even know who you are anymore. I'm gonna call you Shannon Whitlock. I don't, okay, I want to be completely honest about this. About 4 or 5 years ago, I was left very bitter at the end of the Kobe Bryant run with the Lakers. His injuries, the bloated contract, the way the last several seasons were when the Lakers just went into the dumps. It was actually a historic bad run for that franchise.
Most of that was due to bad ownership, though. Kobe did take that bad contract, and as we see now, I think it just becomes the norm for the NBA. But hey, the way I look at it now, the only reason why that team wasn't ran the way it was supposed to be is really just ownership, man. We had Jim Buss and you had Jeannie Buss running the realms just kind of like they are now, and they was just basically effing everything up, choosing pride over logic. They really weren't built for it. They didn't hire the best people. They tried to keep it in family. You know what I'm saying? Let the people that are close to them run the organization, and we see where that got them.
And it clouded and distorted my view, okay? And I've been on the record, because I know people are going to dig it up, where I thought LeBron had a better overall floor game and made people and his teammates better. I have said that, and I thought that. But, okay, we're allowed to change our minds here. I'm allowed to change my mind. Think about this. Who's had better teammates throughout their career? Who's had more blue chip all-star level players throughout their career? Kobe or LeBron? Who's done more with them?
When did LeBron ever have arguably the most impactful best player in the game? Kobe won 3 titles with Shaquille O'Neal.
LeBron James had Dwayne Wade, guys. So that's the first line. What I'm starting to realize, like the more and more I dive deep into the NBA and like throughout the history, you watch a lot of basketball, but when you're watching it live, you're not really able to dissect it in a way as when you kind of go back to it. Now, I'm not that old, bro. Like I can't tell you. One thing I can say that is a disadvantage is when you're not watching, when you weren't there for the time, because you can get lost throughout the decades, right? The fortunate thing about this debate, though, is that Kobe and LeBron actually played in the same era. Kobe's a few years older than LeBron, yes, but they play in the same era. You get me? So there's plenty of a sample size for you to see where Kobe succeeded and where LeBron James succeeded, where Kobe failed and where LeBron failed. But they basically played around the same era. Now, this whole Shaq and Kobe part of this debate, the reason why it's kind of stupid in my opinion is because LeBron James also played with Dwayne Wade. Guys, when LeBron and Dwayne Wade teamed up, there were three of the best players in the league, and the order was Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade. And some people had it because of the amount of MVPs he won. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and Dwayne Wade. But Dwayne Wade was there. Now, when Kobe and Shaq teamed up, the debate wasn't, is it Kobe and is it Shaq? It was more like Kobe was around the second or third best player in the league because you had other greats and you had Shaq. Now, when he talks about Shaq being the definitive best player in the league, too, also keep in mind that wasn't the case when they teamed up. This team came together in '96. Kobe and Shaq teamed up in '96, not 2000. You get me? In '96, Michael Jordan was the best player in the league, hands down. Shaq wasn't even nowhere on the spectrum. You still had Karl Malone. You still had the other greats. Shaq got drafted in, I believe, '92. Bro, Charles Barkley, all the other greats at the time, Shaq worked his way up. Sure. But by the time him and Kobe got together, Shaq wasn't even the best player in the league. He eventually became that. And honestly, their game complemented each other because their roster wasn't even that great. They had some spare parts, some role players, according to LeBron fans. You know how these Bron sexuals like to downgrade everybody that LeBron has ever had on his roster. But when you compare what Kobe had to work with, right? The biggest thing that people leave out is that 2010s, that 2008 to 2010 time where Kobe went to the finals 3 straight years and won 2 championships. Bro, I'm sorry. If you're a Laker fan, you're probably just going to cry and get upset and clickety-clack off of what I'm about to say. But I am sorry. Why is it that so many freaking people overhype Pau Gasol? He wasn't like that, y'all. I'm not trying to disrespect Pau because Pau's, to us, like, to the Lakers, like, he was a great compliment. And what he did for the franchise, you'll never forget. But, bro, people talk about Pau after Kobe's death. I've been hearing people, they always talk about Pau as if he was like a top 5 or top 10 player in the league. He was never that ever. If you go look at it right now, most metrics would say Pau Gasol was a 38th best player in the league in 2007. Keep in mind, he played for the Memphis Grizzlies. In 2007, they were the worst team in the West, the 15th seed. Pau Gasol's best averages points-wise, 20 points a game in 2009, I believe. And he averaged between 19 to 20 points a game almost every year of his career. He's not like that, y'all. If we were to compare Pau Gasol right now to current NBA players, he would be somewhere in the comparison of Lauri Markkanen or Kristaps Porzingis. Those are basically that's the closest comp you can give Pau Gasol. Where are they now? Kristaps plays for the Celtics. He's the 4th or the 5th best player on that team. Lauri Markkanen is the best player on a trash-ass Jazz team. Kind of resembles where Pau was when he was with the Grizzlies. The reason why I bring this up is because what Kobe was able to do with Pau Gasol is nothing short of a miracle, and LeBron could have and still has never been able to do anything like that. Did y'all know right now Lauri Markkanen averaging like 25 points a game? Did y'all know? Pau Gasol's never done that. He's never even gotten close. Now, I do understand the difference of errors. Lauri Markkanen shoots a little bit more threes than Pau, like all of that. I get all of that. I'm not trying to say that Lauri Markkanen is better than Pau because I don't think so. I don't believe he is. I think Pau's better, but it's not that far apart is the point. So could you imagine if you traded away Anthony Davis, got rid of half this roster, and gave LeBron James Kristaps? Where would they go? Absolutely nowhere. They'd be the 14th seed in the West. That's my point. A lot of people, and the reason why this debate kind of boggles my mind is because a lot of people do not realize exactly how high Kobe was able to win with the sparest of parts. And for people who go, because I know a lot of you are already gonna just be like, well, look, bro, Two different eras, blah, blah, blah. When you look at that 2008, 2007, 2008 LA roster and you compare it, you can actually compare it to LeBron James's Cleveland Cavalier team. Outside of Kobe and LeBron, the teams were very comparable, bro. I don't want to talk all day on this, but for example, like Mo Williams, he averaged like 18 points a game, I think in like 2009, bro. Points very similar to Powell. Lamar Odom, I think, is the second highest scorer on that Laker team at 10 points a game? I think he averaged 11 points a game. Like Lamar Odom dropped 11 points a game, y'all. He wasn't that. He wasn't like that. Trevor Ariza averaged like 8, 7 with Kobe. He played defense. Bro, do y'all really understand if you were to today, because of the way society is today, take that Laker roster outside of Kobe, give it to LeBron, the media would crucify every single player on that team. LeBron's roster right now swims circles around that Laker roster. No disrespect to them because they got the job done. But do y'all realize Austin Reeves is currently the third best player on this team, averaging 20 points a game? And before they traded for Luka, right? AD, who honestly, if LeBron wasn't in his way, could drop 35 plus easily. The best, one of the best, if not the best defensive player in the league. Bro, if you gave this roster to Kobe Bryant, there's no way they're not the 1 seed. Which is my biggest point, because even in 2008, 9, and 10, the Lakers were the number 1 seed, bro. Number 1 seed. Number 1 seed in the West, winning 60 plus games. I think they won 57 one year and like 60 the rest. Bro, LeBron can't even get out the play-in tournament. He can't even get out the play-in tournament with this roster he got now. Rui Hachimura, statistically speaking, was a better player than Lamar Odom. That's the crazy part. Now I know that this era don't play no damn defense the way they supposed to, but that's the crazy part. Give Kobe any type of talent. Oh, and let me not forget Andrew Bynum, who dropped about 15 points a game. I forgot. He was the third best player on that team, if I remember correctly, at 15 points a game, bro. Could you imagine? Could you imagine LeBron having that team? He'd pulled all his hair out. He had a similar team. Ilgauskas was putting up buckets. Mo Williams, when he got Antoine Jameson was averaging over 20-some points a game before he even got to the Cavs. Come on, y'all.
When Shaquille O'Neal was an unstoppable force and arguably the best player in the league.
Okay, so Kobe Bryant actually won without Shaq. Now let's go back to your original statement. Do you believe?
That's my point. Kobe Bryant two-peated without Shaq. So even if you want to say he had the best player, which he did, and by the way, the biggest issue I have with this debate is that everybody always says this about Kobe, but you never ever, and it's not even just the media, it's online, it's everybody. Where's this same energy when it comes to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson? They were hands down 2 of the best 3 players in the league at that era. Kareem is considered the second best player of all time to most people. Why don't y'all throw dirt on their name? Why is it only Kobe Bryant when this GOAT conversation or this who's better conversation where he gets an asterisk for playing with a Shaquille O'Neal? Magic Johnson fucking played with a Kareem who was better than Shaq. I'm sorry. What is going on? There have been plenty, but my point is there have been plenty of teams. I don't even want to say plenty, But there's been plenty of players who've had two of the best three players in the NBA on the same team. And then they got the job done. It's not just Kobe, so why is he the only one crucified for doing it?
I believe that Kobe was carried by Shaq for all three titles.
No.
The carry word is disrespectful. The reason why it's disrespectful is because, like I said, I think I did a video about a month or so ago, like, was Kobe robbing, which I think is so disrespectful because it has to be looked at like a Superman Batman comparison. Basically, it's Superman and Batman. A Robin was Chris Middleton for the fucking Bucks when Giannis won his championship. A Robin is Jamal Murray. A Robin is Tony Parker. A Robin is Pau Gasol, a borderline all-star player. A Robin is not Kobe Bean Bryant. A Robin is not Magic Johnson. A Robin is not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. A Robin is not Dwayne Wade. Come on, y'all. Stop the disrespect. Why is Kobe? My only issue is, and look, I'm not saying any of this because I'm some Kobe sycophant. I'm not none of that. I don't worship players. I don't worship men. I'm just only speaking from what I know from basketball. The facts. Kobe cannot be considered a Robin. And if you're going to do that, then you have to do that for every single other player. Why is Dwayne Wade never talked about as a Robin? What about Shaquille O'Neal on top of that? When he played with Dwayne Wade, he wasn't even considered a Robin. He was up for the Finals MVP too. Anthony Davis wasn't considered a Robin in the 2020 Finals. He honestly should have won the Finals MVP. Most people tell you he should have won it. Don't nobody dress him up in a Robin uniform. You can do that for a Kristaps, like I said. You might, I probably wouldn't even do it, but you might be able to do it for Clyde Drexler in the 95, the 94, 95 Rockets, bro. You might be able to even do it for that. You could do it for Larry Bird and Kevin McHale. Sure. Fine. You can't do it for Julius Erving and Moses Malone. You can't do it for them. There's no Robin. It's Batman, Superman. Two players, very good. One better than the other, right? But not by much. Steph Curry was not Robin to no damn Kevin Durant. And if that's the narrative, if y'all want to say he was Robin and this person was Robin, then fine, okay, sure. They all Robins, that's okay. As long as they all Robins, if everybody gotta be the Robin, you feel me, that's cool. That's fine. But if they not, so if LeBron would have not won the Finals MVP, for example, I don't want to use ifs, but in 2020, if they would have gave it to Anthony Davis like they were supposed to, you feel me? Or we could use a real one, which would be the 2011 Finals where Dwayne Wade, if they would have won and still beat the Mavs, Dwayne Wade would have been the Finals MVP and it wouldn't have been close, right? And if LeBron is Robin in that situation, then okay, fine, everybody's a Robin. But no, we don't call Magic and Kareem Robin, bro. We don't. No, none of them was Robin. They were GOATs. Stop the disrespect.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Good.
I think he was Robin to his Batman though, but yeah,
Well,
not Carey.
I don't see. Yeah, that's a pejorative. That is a pejorative, and you know me, Jason. I'm a Laker fan, but I'm not part of the cult of Kobe. Okay, I'm actually.
Exactly. I'm not a part of no damn Kobe cult. I don't even really talk about Kobe on this platform that often. Like I said, he was my favorite player I've ever seen. I enjoyed watching him at the time, but that was the time. You know, it's time. Sometimes it's time to move on. I will say this though, and let me be very clear on this. I really think the reason why these debates go up and the reason why people quote unquote are in a Kobe cult or that people, you know, still hold Kobe in higher regard. I don't think that they're there because Jason Whitlock said today, basically on another video, that people are over romanticizing Kobe for some other reason. The truth is, bro, the reason why people talk about and still bring up Kobe is because he was the last alpha male. That's just the truth. He was the last alpha male, true alpha in the NBA. True dog mentality, a man's man, a lumberjack. A man's man, a roll up his sleeves and get the job done guy. There's never been no other player like that since. The NBA, because of player empowerment and LeBron, basically turned into a corporatocracy. Everybody only cares about their marketing ability and money. Nobody cares about working hard. Nobody cares about playing all 82. Nobody cares about winning championships anymore. They don't care. They don't care as long as they're making $300, $400 million per 5 years. They're fine. LeBron has made people docile. Docile. That's the biggest problem with the NBA. Why are ratings down? Why do people not watch the product no more? Because the players do not care anymore. They only care about money. Kobe Bryant was not like that. That's why people overly talk about Kobe. They're basically saying, I missed a day where we had a superstar, best player in the league player who had a very charismatic kind of and manly's man personality. An alpha male who would roll up his sleeves and get things done. Was he perfect? No, but he was the last one people have ever saw.
Probably one of the few Laker fans that can actually look at this guy and not look at him as some sort of superhero. I think a lot of Laker fans do fall into that hero worship. But I've made this statement.
I don't honestly even think that that's just Laker fans. I just think it's fans of the NBA in general. If you watched the NBA for more than 3 years, if you've watched it for a decade plus, 2 decades even, you feel me? Then that you're the person who romanticizes this and puts Kobe as a superhero, most likely.
Before, without Kobe Bryant, who was the only player on that whole roster that on the perimeter could create their own shot and shoot consistently off the dribble, that team would have had some real issues against the Portland Trail Blazers, who they escaped from in the first run. And then you look at what he did against some of these other teams like San Antonio, who never had an answer for him. And I get it. Shaq won the finals MVP 3 years in a row. But, Jason, there was a huge imbalance between the East and the West in those days. And all of the hard work was done getting to the NBA finals. And then Shaq could beat up on a bunch of fives that were not that good. I think that has to be factored into it. Just calling him a Robin, I think, is shortchanging him just a little bit.
That's a nice piece of nuance that does need to be taken into account. It's actually what they did in the Western Conference half of the playoffs that was the most difficult. And then, that's a nice piece of nuance.
I just want to jump in. Am I the only person who...
I don't think that's just nuance, Jason. I just think that that's how you should have evaluated it. The finals matters the most to most people, but it really just depends on who you're playing in the finals, bro. Like, at the end of the day, because LeBron LeBron had the opposite issue that Kobe had. Kobe and Shaq played juggernauts throughout the regular playoffs, their conference, and then basically played what did JJ Redick say? Plumbers and firemen in the finals. And then it's vice versa for LeBron, who basically played plumbers and firemen for the 3 rounds, and then once he got to the finals, played a juggernaut. Somebody of his ilk. You feel me? The San Antonio Spurs, honestly, on paper, the fucking Heat shit on them easily. Easily. The Heat should have beat that team in 4. They should have swept them. But because they were actually a great team led by a former superstar and Tim Duncan, Boom. LeBron couldn't figure it out. He was so used to playing trash all season long. And then for the Golden State Warriors, they weren't even nowhere near as good as the Cavs were on paper until LeBron James, until they got Kevin Durant. Then, in my opinion, they were only a notch better than the Cavs on paper. This is the reason why I have issues with LeBron. People always do the whole look on 2K, look on the internet. What if Kobe and LeBron swap places? The truth is, LeBron has all the accolades. Like, he has the MVPs, the records, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't have any defensive player of the year or any defensive, like, all-team defense accolades on that level of a Kobe Bryant. Like, the only time he did have it was when Kobe was actually in the league, because Kobe would get on his ass and hold him accountable on defense. When Kobe retired, he stopped caring. He honestly stopped caring after he got snubbed, according to him, in 2013. Then he just stopped playing defense. This is why LeBron James' career has been abysmal. If he would have stayed focused on defense, I have no doubt that they would have beat the Warriors in 2015, and they probably would have beat the Warriors one of those years if Kyrie Irving didn't get traded. I'm talking about the post Kevin Durant years. He had enough talent. But LeBron is just one of those guys who his mood, he doesn't care about nobody else for himself. He's a pure narcissist. And he only mainly cares about making sure he looks good, not about winning. The people like to bring up Kobe Bryant's issues with the Suns and all these. When Kobe was the 8th seed and didn't have nobody on his fucking team, the second best, Lamar Odom dropping 10 points a game type shit. They like to bring that up when he was an 8th seed. But LeBron has been a 7th and 8th and playing tournament seed for like the last 5 years. And the biggest point I want to make about this debate, because I'm going to cut this in a few minutes, but the biggest point I want to make about this debate is that when it comes to LeBron James, the reason why he moves down on the list, because a lot of people had him over Kobe for years, and then over the last 5 years, you've been hearing a lot more people putting Kobe over LeBron. And you can say, how is that the case when Kobe Bryant has retired or Kobe Bryant's dead? It's not because he died. His tragic death doesn't elevate his legacy. The biggest thing is that LeBron James, the fact that he's still in the league is decreasing his legacy. And the reason why it's decreasing it is because no one's saying if you play 20 years, you should win 20 championships. But every year that you have an opportunity to win the big one and you don't is a knock against your legacy. Every single year over the last 6 seasons, LeBron James has had Anthony Davis on his team. Anthony Davis, they only won 1 championship. He had Anthony Davis for 6 freaking years and did nothing with him. There were really no excuses outside of the fact that AD got hurt in 2021. Outside of that, why else didn't he win? Then people wanted to say it was Westbrook. Well, he wanted him there. Why couldn't he win? Okay, give him a break. Nah, I wouldn't, but all right. So then after Westbrook goes, you have a better team. Reeves develops. You have Rui Hachimura. You have D'Angelo Russell. You're number 1 in defense, and LeBron's not even on the team. He's hurt. Why didn't you win? There was never really too many years. There was, or at the very least, too, even because when I say win, I mean become the 1 or 2 seed in your conference. Like every single year, LeBron's the 7th seed. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like he's the 7th seed. That is horrible. That's awful. That's atrocious. LA has always been about winning, getting the W. That's all that matters, holding up that Larry O'Brien trophy. LeBron James now has Luka Doncic, and no one expects him to even win. But even before Luka, with AD on your roster, with a top 5 player on your roster, the biggest problem is, why were you the 7th seed? Why were you getting bounced out the first round? If you would have gave, because there's no time outside of, so post Shaq, there was no other time that Kobe Bryant had a top 5 player, unless you're going to say Dwight Howard. And the only reason why they didn't necessarily win, or we didn't see him win, is because Kobe tore his Achilles that same season. He tore his Achilles. So we never got to see it. LeBron ain't tore nothing. He ain't tore no damn Achilles. He never suffered a career-ending injury. You guys have been ready to go every season, and you have yet to bring the goods. For all the LeBron sexuals out there who say, you're just a hater, that's the biggest problem. You got Anthony Davis. Where's the goods? Again, am I saying you need to win all 20 seasons? Absolutely not. What I'm saying is, when Kobe had opportunities to win, you saw him win. People like to criticize him for 2005, 6, and 7. This nigga had trash on his team. Garbage. He got one acceptable player. One. Pau Gasol, a.k.a. Kristaps Porzingis or Lauri Markkanen, in 2008. 1, 1, and 1. By the time 2011 came, backs, people beat up, broken down. 2012 and 13, people say, what happened here? What happened there? A failed trade is what happened. The Chris Paul trade got reneged. Kobe couldn't continue. Pau Gasol fell off. There was only so much you could do with a Lauri Markkanen. Other players got traded. A super team was formed in the Miami Heat. You get what I'm saying? He only had basically one more season after that. He tore his Achilles. After he tore it, that was it. There was no Kobe's going to come back and win. And then they eventually traded Pau Gasol. So I'm going to end this video here, man. But that's, when you look at Kobe's legacy, it's like, his legacy, he's not getting elevated because he died. He's getting elevated because LeBron, we're watching LeBron fail every season when he shouldn't be failing. And the only thing we can do, or y'all can do, is make excuses for his failures. But you didn't see that with any other top 5 all-time best player in the league. But y'all like it, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all watching these videos, and I'm up out of here.